Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. The saying, "No king is honored in his own country," was put to rest in Montego Bay on Saturday, August 16, 2025, when veteran sound system man Extoll Ticka Earle, better known as Tika, Earle and Dirty Harry, was given a royal send-off in a funeral service fit for a king, which spanned the Montego Bay Convention Centre to the Dovecote Memorial Park, where he was buried.
Tika, you're the king. This we call this crucifixion.
The mourners, many of whom found their husbands and wives at some of Tika's famous parties, jetted in from the United States, Canada, England and other destinations overseas to join home-based Jamaicans from all across the island, transforming the funeral, which actually spanned 3 days, back-to-back nights of musical tribute at Piran, followed by the service at the Convention Centre, into a social affair, a gathering of old friends who had one thing in common: total love and respect for Tika. The funeral service was a family affair. Tika's immediate family, his music family, his football family, and his Cornwall College family. In fact, the Cornwall College old boys, some of whom played acoustic football with Tika, or was present when he launched his now famous sound system, Tika Music, made sure it was a red and gold affair, spanning the route from the convention centre to the cemetery. The reunion aspect of the funeral generated more smiles than sad faces, as friends who had not seen each other for 30 to 40 years had their meet and greet while showing respect to a man who was being hailed as a hero in the city of his birth.
Stay tuned, Tika Music next. Some real Tika Music. Come straight from yard.
The funeral attracted from the common man in the streets to government officials. Present to show their respect were the likes of Dr. Horace Chang, the Minister of National Security and Deputy Prime Minister, and Montego Bay's Mayor, Richard Vernon. It was quite a good look in every respect. King was indeed crowned. Tika was getting royal treatment in his beloved home city. In her coverage of the funeral for the Gleaner, my colleague Janet Silvera, in a story published on August 21, 2025, under the headline, "MoBay said farewell to Tika in 3 days of celebration," wrote the following: Montego Bay danced, sang and marched for 3 days in honor of Extoll Ticka Earle, sound system icon whose name was woven into the fabric of the city's culture. The celebration of life began on Thursday night at Pier 1, rolled into a vibrant Thanksgiving ceremony on Saturday at the Montego Bay Convention Centre in St. James, and ended with his burial at Dovecote St. James. By Saturday afternoon, the Convention Centre ballroom was packed with standing room only, while crowds spilled outside to follow the service, and speakers, marching bands, Cornwall College schoolmates, and Tika loyal supporters gathered in waves. The send-off was as colourful as the man himself, a selector who gave Montego Bay its rhythm and heartbeat. Tika Music was a movement, a voice of the grassroots, a voice of the people of Montego Bay, said economist and opposition senator Dr. Andre Orton. Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Horace Chang hailed him as an iconic Montegonian who pioneered entertainment in the city. Cornwall College alumni Ali Matnab, speaking on behalf of the class of 1979, remembered him first as a footballer with a wicked left foot before he turned his attention to music. Trevor Pippa Mitchell, a longtime friend and teammate, added laughter to the tears, recalling how goalkeepers ducked when Earle's left foot connected with the ball. That's when the name Tika was born, he said, and later Tika Music became a movement of its own.
Tika Music
In reflecting on the impact Tika's death had on Montego Bay when it first became known that he had died, I found it quite easy to craft a story for the Star because amid the mourning there was an outpouring of love and respect. The article I wrote, which was published on July 1, 2025, under the headline MoBay mourns popular selector Tika, it read as follows. Montego Bay is now in mourning as one of the city's most revered sons, renowned sound system owner and operator Extoll Ticka Earle of the legendary Tika music outfit died last Saturday, 3 weeks after suffering a stroke. According to reports, the 64-year-old Earle, who was also known as Dirty Harry on the sound system circuit, was at home preparing a meal for his family when he collapsed and became unresponsive. He was rushed to a hospital where it was discovered that he had suffered a stroke. He was released from the hospital and was back at home recovering, and we were quite hopeful that he would have recovered, but he suffered another stroke, a family friend told the Star. When I got the news on Sunday, I cried because I realized that we have lost one of Montego Bay's best. While Earle was best known for his sound system exploits, which included several legendary clashes, he first became a household name in Montego Bay as a footballer. He played the Costa Cup football for Cornwall College and at the senior level represented Arnett's Football Club, which was coached by the legendary Steve Buckner and featured national star Paul Teague Davis. Long after he gave up football and went into the sound system business full-time, football fans still talked about his lethal left foot, which regularly had goalkeepers ducking whenever he got into range and unleashed one of his thunderbolt shots. For the fans of sound system music, Earle enjoyed cult-like status as his legendary parties regularly attracted stage show-like crowds, and his clashes with fellow Montego Bay sound systems, Pieces and Electroforce created many, many happy memories. Tika was a man who touched the heart and soul of all Montegonians, said Davis. When you went to a Tika party, it was like a family gathering. It was a place of total happiness. Tika contributed immensely to the peace we enjoyed in the 80s and 90s in Montego Bay. Said Davis, who will always remember Tika as a teammate and friend. In fact, I am absolutely convinced that whenever Montegonians meet in large numbers to talk about entertainment, Tika's name will most certainly come up because he was one of the iconic figures, a true pioneer.
Tika, you're the king. This we call is crucifixion.
Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. Before you go, please remember to subscribe.